In this video, we will be looking at how to convert between various units. We're going to start with the metric system. Now, for the metric system, we are going to be using this staircase. Now, you will see at the top here, we have the kilometers, kilogram, kiloliter. Then we go to hecta, meter, hectagram, hectoliter. Deca. Here's the basic meter, gram, liter, deci, centi, and milli. And then you can adjust it with meters, grams, or liters. When you're converting, regardless of what type of conversion it is, whether it's measurement, volume, we are always going to find what step you're on in the staircase and see how many steps up or down you are taking. So for example, let's say we're on meters and I want to go to centimeters. I'm going 2 steps down, and that's going to mean I would take my value, look at where the current decimal is placed, and move 2 to the right. If I was going from meters to, let's say, hectometers, and I'm going 1, 2 up means we're going to go to the left. Kind of pretty much the same direction. Up, you're going left. Down, you're going right. So let's take a look at our first example. We have 3 kilometers and we want to go to meters. So here's kilometers, here's meters. We're going 1, 2, 3 steps down, which means we're going to go 3 to the right. So I take my 3 kilometers, and if you don't see a decimal, it means it's just at the end. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. This is where the new decimal will be, and I will fill in the hops with zeros. So that means 3 kilometers is equal to 3,000 meters. Let's look at meters to centimeters. Meters are right here. 1, 2 steps down. Down again means we're going to the right. So I'm going to take the 5. Here's the current decimal. 1, 2. Fill in the zeros. So 5 meters is 500 centimeters. But what about the other direction? Centimeters to meters. Here's the centimeters, and I'm going to go up 1, 2. I went up, which is heading towards the left. So left 2. So let's take this 10 centimeters. The current decimal is here. And I want to move it 1, 2. This is where the new decimal will be, which means we're actually going to have 0.10, or 0.1 would mean the same thing. I could add a million zeros after that decimal and it doesn't change my number. So those were length examples. Let's look at volumes. 3 kiloliters to liters. Here's the kiloliter, here's the liter. 1, 2, 3 steps down. So I'm going to take that 3, 1, 2, 3, and fill in the hops with zeros. Or 3.4 liters to milliliters. Here's liters, right here. Here's milliliters. 1, 2, 3 again, and again to the right. So this 3.4, 1, 2, 3, fill in with zeros. Liters to decaliters. Here are our liters, here are the decaliters. I'm hopping 1 step up and I'm going towards the left. So 4.7, once to the left. This is where the new decimal will be, and typically we'll write a 0 in front of that decimal, so 0.47. mass, grams to milligrams. Grams are here, milligrams are here. 1, 2, 3 steps down, which is heading towards the right. So here's 11. 1, 2, 3. Fill in your zeros. So as you're going to a smaller unit of measure, like milligrams, centigrams, whatever it may be, your number will get larger because you're adding more zeros. Okay, next we're going to go from kilograms to grams. Kilograms are here, grams are here. 1, 2, 3 steps to the right. So I'll take this 4.9, 1, 2, 3. Add in your zeros, 4,900. And last one for metric, 0.5 grams to milligrams. Grams, milligrams. 1, 2, 3 steps again to the right. 1, 2, 3. Add in your zeros. So that is 500 milligrams. Next, we're going to look at the Imperial System. So this one, we have a different conversion chart for it. It is not that staircase. So we're going to convert from feet to inches. So the first thing you should do is look at your conversion sheet and find the conversion that relates feet and inches. So if you look at your conversion, you will see 12 inches equals 1 foot. Now we are given 2 feet and we're told 1 foot is 12 inches. So if I want 2 feet, when I'm going in this direction, I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to take those 2 feet and I'm going to multiply it by 12. Because if 1 foot is 12 inches, 2 feet should be double that. So 24 inches. Next, 5 feet into yards. So I see the conversion 3 feet equals 1 yard. Now in this case, we're told 3 feet is a yard. I want to see how many times can I remove 3 feet from the original 5, because every time I do that, that's going to represent 1 yard. So I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to divide it by 3 to see how many times does 3 go into 5. And I get 1 point and then 6 repeated. And I'll just round that to 1.7. So when I go in this direction, I will divide. Next, 8 feet into inches. That's the same conversion we used before with 12 inches equals 1 foot. So I want you to take a couple seconds and decide if you should multiply by 12 or divide by 12. And we are going in this direction. So you should multiply. 1 foot is 12 inches. I have 8 feet. I'm pretty much adding that 12 8 times. But I don't want to add 12 8 times. I'm just going to multiply 8 by 12 to get 96 inches. Next, let's look at some volume. Quarts and pints. So when I look at my conversion sheet here, I see that 2 pints equals 1 quart. I have 4 quarts. Each one is 2 pints. So I'm pretty much adding 2 4 times. Or I'll just do 4 times 2 to get 8. Next, quarts and fluid ounces. So I do not see a conversion that necessarily relates fluid ounces with quarts, but I do see one that relates fluid ounces with pints. So if we first convert this into pints, then we can convert the pints into quarts. All right, so first thing, we already know that 1 quart equals 2 pints. So 1 quart is 2 pints, which means 2 quarts should be 4 pints. And now we know that 16 fluid ounces equals 1 pint. but I have 4 pints. 1 pint is 16 fluid ounces. If I have 2, that's 32. I added on another 16. If I had 3, I add another 16. If I have 4, I add on another 16. But instead of doing that addition, I'll just do 4 times 16 to get 64 fluid ounces. Finally, 6 pints into quarts. We're still using the fact that 2 pints equals 1 quart. So 2 pints is 1 quart. 4 pints would be 2 quarts. 6 pints would be 3 quarts. And how did I do that? I'm just taking away 2 pints until I'm left with nothing. And for every time I take away 2 pints, that's 1 quart. And that implies division. So 6 divided by 2, that's 3 quarts that I'm left with. Next, let's look at mass. So 10 pounds into ounces. So first, let's find that conversion. 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Well, I have 10 pounds. 1 pound is 16 ounces. If I add another 16, that's 32 ounces for 2 pounds. And I can keep adding 16 until I reach the 10 pounds. Or I'll just do 10 times 16, which is 160 ounces. Let's go in the other direction. I'm giving you ounces. I have 32 of them, and I want to see how many pounds that is. How many times can I remove 16 from 32? That implies division. 32 divided by 16 is 2 pounds. And finally, ounces into tons, the US ton. Well, if you look at your formula sheet, you're not going to find that direct conversion. But we can turn the ounces into pounds and then the pounds into tons. We already know that 16 ounces is 1 pound. So let's see how many times we can remove 16 from 325,000. So when I do that, I get 20,312.5 pounds. And then we can go and convert it into tons. If we look at our conversion sheet, 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So again, how many times can I remove 2,000 from this value? Because every time I do, that's going to represent 1 ton. So I'll divide this by 2,000, and I get approximately 10.2 tons if I round to 1 decimal place. So that's your imperial system. So you're either multiplying or dividing by that conversion factor. The last conversion we're going to do is between metric and imperial. So if you look at your conversion chart, we're looking at the very last box, metric to imperial or vice versa. So let's take a look. This is going to be the exact same as the imperial conversions. We want to convert 7 yards into meters. So let's look at our conversion chart here, and I see that 0.9144 meters equals 1 yard. But I have 7 yards. So if I just do 7 times 0.9144, that should give me the meters. And when we do that multiplication, that's about 6.4 meters. Next, kilograms to pounds. So 0.454 kilograms equals 1 pound. So I want to see how many times does 0.454 fit into 240, because that'll, each time I can remove that 0.454, that would represent a pound. And that is 528.6 pounds. So once again, when I'm going in this direction, I'm dividing. When I'm going in the other direction, I'm multiplying. Next, 65 miles to kilometers. So I see 1.609 kilometers equals 1 mile. I have 65 miles. I'm going in this direction, so I am multiplying. by that conversion factor. So 65 times 1.609, that's approximately 104.6 kilometers. All right, I want you to try the next row on your own. So pause the video, try it out, and then come back. So number 4, 5, and 6. Then come back to check your work. Meters to yards, we already have our conversion up here. We're starting with meters this time, so when we go in this direction, we are going to divide because we want to see how many times can we remove 0.9144 from 355. And we get approximately 388.2 yards. Inches to centimeters. Looking at your conversion sheet, 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. But I have 15 inches. I'm going in this direction. 1 inch is 2.54. 15, well, let's just multiply. 15 times 2.54. And if you got 38.1 centimeters, that is great. Then we have pounds to grams. Now we don't necessarily have a pounds to grams on our conversion sheet, but we do have pounds to kilograms. So we can convert it into kilograms first and then use our staircase to get to grams. So we already know this fact. 1 pound is 0.454. So if I have 7, I'll just do the multiplication to get 3.178 kilograms. So if I want to go into grams, if you look at your staircase, that's 3 steps down, which means I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to the right to get 3,178 grams. Okay, so if you did well with that, great. If you made a mistake somewhere, check to see what happened in terms of your multiplying versus dividing, and take that into consideration for your last row. So pause the video again, try it out, then come back to check your work. Okay, so we have 3 US tons to another type of ton. Now we are told 0.907 tons equals 1 US ton. And we have 3 US tons. So, because we're going in this direction, we will multiply to get approximately 2.7 tons. Fluid ounces to milliliters. We are told 29.574 milliliters equals 1 fluid ounce, and we have 8 fluid ounces. So once again, we're multiplying by that conversion factor, and we get 236.6 milliliters. And finally, milliliters to pints, which we don't have. We do have liters to pints. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this milliliters and convert it to liters. If you look at your staircase, we are 1, 2, 3 steps upwards. So 3 to the left, which gives us 6.6 liters. Now we can use the conversion that 0.473 liters equals 1 pint. I am trying to go from liters to pints. I want to see how many times can I remove 0.73 from 6.6, which implies division, and it's approximately 14.0 pints. And that's it for your conversion. So for the metric system, you are using the staircase to see how many times you should move to the right or left. For imperial or metric and imperial, you're using those conversion charts to see if you're going to multiply or divide by the conversion factor. You're either seeing, do you already have how much one unit is worth, or do you have to see how many times you have to remove the unit to get the other, to see if you're going to do multiplication or division.